Shine for Turnin' for us. I looked that up. That was 1965 that song came around. But doesn't it feel kind of appropriate as we're turnin' still? Yeah. And Donna, thank you. Where'd you go? She went somewhere, but I love Donna and her creative energy. And she spoke to me and my journey with this word. I was kind of excited to speak about creativity because that word has taken me on a journey. And it kind of started exactly what she just talked about. I grew up in a home that didn't really do creative stuff. You know, there were no arts and crafts or even much play or anything going on. My parents were working. And strangely enough, they were musicians. So you would think that there would be some creativity and music going on in their house, but there really wasn't. It was more work focused than it was the creative aspect. So I didn't really get that kind of thing growing up. And as I started to move along, as I started to grow, I said almost exactly what Donna said in her poem. My flavor of that, and I think it started in high school when I started saying, I don't have a creative bone in my body. Isn't that a statement? I don't have a creative bone in my body. And it's because I couldn't draw. I didn't think I could. I never got to do that. And I know as I said that, and I said that for many years, I don't have a creative bone in my body. And I know as I said that, I felt some shame with that. I felt like there was something missing in me. I didn't have kind of that creative juice that was there. So it wasn't until I started on my consciousness path, when I started getting toward 40 or so, where I started to get some information on what creativity really is. I started to learn that just by being human, we are creator beings, that I am a creator being, that I create my world. And that click, that aha, isn't that the beginning where we realize that we are creators, that we create our world, it isn't happening to us? So as I came into that understanding, I was able to look back on my career, actually, in the corporate world. I was out of it by then, but I was able to go back and see. I was an administrator, and I loved doing process, documenting process. Isn't that weird? I'm a nerd like that. Documenting process and working with teams and putting stuff together. All of that was just so much fun for me. So it was such a relief, really, to look back on that career and see my creativity. It felt natural to me. It felt good to do it. I could feel the flow coming through as I expressed that in my work. And I realized creativity can be anything. If it's a natural flow coming through you with something that you love, it could be digging a ditch if you're really into digging that ditch, you know? If it really feels like a natural thing for you to offer. So that was a relief for me to feel that. And then as I continued on my consciousness path, I got even a deeper and I think broader look at what creativity is. I realized that as a creator being, as a spiritual being here in human form, we create in each moment. We create with each word. We create with each feeling. We create in each moment. Each moment is an opportunity to create. And boy, did that take me to another place of, I am creating in each moment of my life. As I was putting this together, a name came into my mind really strongly, Greg Braden. Anybody know Greg Braden? Yeah. I don't know why. I didn't study him much, but I was familiar with Greg Braden as I was coming along. And he did a lot of work bridging the gap between science and spirituality. And I think that's helpful quantum energy, that kind of stuff. So I looked him up, and I really liked what he had to say about creativity and creative energy. So I'm going to share a little bit of that with you. So the divine matrix, that's what he calls all that is, the divine matrix, is an intelligent field of energy underpinning all physical existence. This field is the raw material of the universe, and everything in it is connected. Doesn't that sound like Unity Spiritual Principle number 1? God is everywhere and always present in every circumstance. This divine energy underlies and animates all of existence. This energy field contains the potential or blueprint for all possibilities. All possibility and potential is already here. The physical world is a materialization of this potential. And we can interact with this field through a nonverbal language of feeling and belief in our hearts. This interaction or communing allows us to influence the field and manifest our desired outcomes. Unity Spiritual Principle number 3. Our thoughts have creative power to influence events and determine our experiences. By cultivating precise feelings as if a desired outcome has already happened, we can set in motion a mechanism within the field that brings those outcomes to fruition. What does that sound like in Unity Land? Affirmative prayer. We're affirming what we know to be true already. Quantum physics offers scientific evidence for this energetic field and our ability to interact with it. The heart's electromagnetic field coupling with the Earth's magnetic fields. It's real. This is real. Divinity is the ability to transcend perceived limitations and influence our energetic field through thoughts and emotions. This inherent power, it's an inherent power within all of us, enables us to create desired outcomes and contribute to the collective well-being. And so it is, for sure. So there is all that is, this creative field that surrounds us, that lives in us and through us. We are all in this together, this creative field. And within this creative field, resonant energies come together to create smaller and more concentrated creative fields. And it can go all the way down to 2 people coming together, where 2 or more are gathered. Spirit lives. If you are, and I know all husbands and wives and spouses and partners can attest to this, when you come into a creative field with another person, it's powerful. You can create from that. And a lot comes up from that, right? In those types of relationships, all the stuff kind of comes up because you're in that concentrated, resonant field of creative energy. One of the most potent, I think, experiences of a creative field, a creative energy field, is community. A community like this. It's no mistake and no accident or coincidence that we are all here together today. Something has drawn us here. There's something about this that has resonated with our individual energies to bring us here together. How exciting is that? We've come together to create. Some of you know that I lived in a spiritual community for 5 years or so. And the premise of that experience, the founder of that ministry, his premise was that he would create these communities all over the world for the purpose of people coming together intentionally. That's the key word, intentional spiritual community. To come together, to experience humanity together, all the stuff, and heal. to heal the wounds of humanity. That was the purpose of this ministry, this intentional community. Knowing that as we bring energies together into a more concentrated field, there's more energy there, and it creates more. There's more potential as you come together into a concentrated field like that. And what that experience is, mostly, is triggers. Yay! So you're coming together intentionally, and I think we all know if we set an intention, the universe responds, right? So we're coming into these communities intentionally to heal the wounds of humanity. What's going to come up? All the stuff that needs to be healed, right? So, and it was challenging, man. I'll tell you that. A spiritual community, you think everybody's kind of sitting around. No, that was not it at all. So you would get up in the morning, you'd go to breakfast, or you'd go to the prayer circle first, and then you would go to breakfast. So there was a team of people putting the breakfast together. Then there was a team serving. There was a team. So we were always together. Dish shifts. You'd go to your landscaping shift, you'd go to your housekeeping shift, you'd go into the office, then you'd do dishes at night. I mean, it was just nonstop, bumping up against everybody 24/7, living in it and working in it together. And it was a retreat center. So we had groups coming in, maybe 120 people with a retreat, bringing all their energy in, and 25 or 35 people trying to do everything to manage all these groups coming in. So, do you get the idea? It was a little challenging. I'm going to go back to Braden for a minute. Here's what he says. The world around us is nothing more and nothing less than a mirror of what we are within. If we have the curiosity, the wisdom, and the courage to explore what that mirror is showing us, we have the power to learn very quickly. We can adopt beliefs and live in feelings that help us create what we want and deserve, going back to that cultivating precise feelings. So it's in this experience of being together, in community, in relationship, where we allow what needs to come up to heal, to come up and work it. The membership pledge that we take as new people come into this community is about all of this. It states in our pledge that if we are triggered by something, it's our responsibility to work that trigger within. We pledge to that when we come in as new members here. And if we need to work something with another person, we do that. How lovely is that? We are healing. That's what we're here for. Part of my process that I think has been really powerful, I named this talk The Golden Steps of Creation. And I hit a place 6 or 7 years ago. I was still in San Diego. And I remember sitting in my apartment. I was on the floor, and I just had this thought come through. I want to live more intuitively. I've always had a pretty mental orientation. And if it kind of back to that creativity thing, I felt like I wasn't in balance. I wanted to be more in the feeling range of my life. I wanted to feel my way more, balance it out. So there I was in my apartment, and I said it out loud. I want to live more intuitively. Bring me what I need. And what happens when you set the intention? The universe responds. And the universe responds and brings us everything that we need. Remember, all of the potential and the possibilities are there already. We just need to summon them in. But it's not just send it out there and let the universe do all the work. You also have to live in that intention. You have to work that intention. And for me, that started to look like, okay, what's my next step here with whatever's going on? I have all these thoughts coming through. Okay, strategies. I could do this, I could do that, I could pick this, I could do... And you know how the mind works, right? You're trying to figure everything out. I learned as I started to work this intention, okay, fine, let all of that happen, but let's focus here. I'm pointing to my gut. Let me focus on my gut. What do I feel? What feels like the right thing to do? And I noticed as I started to work that intention and started to live this, that it slowed everything down. If you're busy doing this and all of this, in my experience anyway, it's hard to feel what's really going on, to get quiet enough that you can feel the next move. Ruth talked about that a few weeks ago. How do you know the next step? You know the next step from right here. And I think the next part of that is getting quiet enough to feel intuitively what's the next thing to do. And as I started to live more in that way, I noticed what I've come to call golden steps. I would be feeling into, okay, what's the next thing to do? I don't know how it works for you. For me, it's it kind of clunks in. You know, there's kind of a click. And I can feel, okay, that feels right. And I noticed that as I did that, it felt like a step would just appear. A golden step would appear in the next move. The thoughts would be coming through, and certain ones would start to build momentum. And it would just start to move organically. And it wasn't a path, you know, the whole path wasn't laid out. It was one step. And I continued to focus on the gut. What do I feel? What do I feel is the right thing to do next? And boy, my life has shifted with that practice in a big way. It feels, first of all, it feels like such a relief to let go of so much trying to figure everything out mentally. It feels so good to let go of that. And to know, okay, I've got a brain, it's still working, I can depend on it. It's not like you let it all go, but just have confidence that it's there, that it's working, and the thoughts are going to organically move with the flow. Yeah, the next phase of that is to trust it. That was William. The next thing to do is to trust that process. I have it on my refrigerator. Trust the process. To be able to let go and let God. To trust my gut. To trust that the universe is going to send me just exactly what I need. I can count on that. And beyond that, I'm going to know. I'm going to have an intuitive hit that sends me in the right direction. To be able to trust that flow, and to let go into it, to me, that's creativity. It's being present in each moment, feeling into each moment, knowing that I'm cared for, and all of the good possibilities are there in this creative field. And to be able to be in a community like this. When I moved from San Diego, I had 3 things that were top of lists that I was looking for. I had never been here before, but I knew I was looking in this area. I was looking for a smaller place than San Diego. I wanted a smaller community, and I wanted to be in a spiritual community. That was important to me. I lived it. I knew to change the perception of a trigger from oh my God, I'm so pissed off, oh my God, this is horrible, to I'm triggered. Spirit is shining light deep within me and allowing something that needs to heal to come up. It's a privilege to be triggered. It's like, yes, yay. It's another thing I get to work and heal. We get to heal. We get to heal all that stuff from our childhoods, not only from our childhoods, but all of humanity, our heritage in our families. It's a lot. And that's the opportunity that we have as individuals. My friend Dara calls it the great work. We get to do the great work. And here in community, we get to do it together. And yeah, it's work. The triggers come up, we bump up against each other, and especially in a place of transition, we're in a transition right now. And we're working it, aren't we? Yeah. Some stuff's coming up, some stuff to work out. We see our reflection. I'm seeing my reflection. It's like, oh, have you had that experience before? Where you're moving along and your reflection comes up from a reaction from somebody else. It's like, oh man, look at that. That's me. And we get to hold all of that in the knowing that we are in a creative field together. We're creating together. And we can do it, as our vision statement says, with loving kindness, with understanding. We're co-creating. We know what's going on here. And we can be in this together in a really creative way. How cool is that? So I'm happy to be in this creative field with all of you.